just really wanted to say, I forgot to actually say anything about Coventry. Coventry wasn't that bad. I felt like Coventry now reminded me kind of how Birmingham used to look like 10 years ago. So it's not taken over by Islamic people, I wouldn't say. I think there was a lot of shop closures, and the people in that witch shop said that it was because of structural problems, and I wasn't necessarily sure because I was kind of like looking around at the crowd of people thinking, are these really shoppers, or I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering if the real reason why England economy is crashing is because they're inviting all these third world people into the country, and third world people don't spend money because they either don't have jobs, or they don't, if the middle class is going away because their rent is increased or their mortgage is increased, or they have to have a gigantic mortgage. If they have had to take out huge amounts of money to help their kids get onto the housing market and stuff like this, everyone's going to be considerably poorer, and no one's going to have the money to sort of go shopping. So I guess I kind of wanted to know why the shops are closing. But during that flood that we had, there was a half-hour flood. It only lasted half an hour. I was there for about 3 hours, and it was fine most of the time. It did start raining probably for about an hour, but it was only light rain, and then for like 20 minutes it was just bucketing it down really, really hard. But yeah, during that time, like, all the shops, kind of a lot of them looked like they were flooding, like there was some huge amounts of water pouring out of some of the shops. So I do think it was more of a structural problem rather than necessarily that it's just closed down. But Claire's Accessories were closing down. I think they've got one. I think they had three, and now they've only got two. Well, now they're only going to have one. So there was one. I think there was one that's surviving, but apparently Claire's Accessories has been taken over recently, and has gone into admission, and this person that they've sold it on to has only bought half of them. So that means Claire's Accessories are going to be closing down all around all around England. And I don't know, I don't really shop because I don't feel really like that rich, and I always like lose necklaces and stuff, so I don't really buy that much stuff. But I probably use that shop more than all the others. It's just, if you don't use the economy, but you like walking into shops, you like seeing shops, and then to see that privilege is being taken away because no one shops these days, it's a bit annoying. But then I am thinking, like, where how is the economy going to survive if all these shops are being closed down? Like, I'm sure people are still buying and selling, it's all online, but it's harder when you're buying things online because you have to spend a huge amount on postage and stuff. So I don't know, but Coventry wasn't that bad. It was just one section that was really bad. But if they are just knocking down the buildings, then I believe they're saying the same about in Birmingham, that there's one area that's all going to be closed down. But the thing about that is, I'm looking at, say if that building was structural problems, or why are all the shops around it also closed? Why is every shop in Birmingham failing? When I look at the sort of the amount of gangs and stuff, like, I wouldn't want to leave my bike in Peg Square, because I could cycle to get to Peg Square and then leave my bike there, but I wouldn't do that because there's a lot of tramps and homeless people around the area, people who look like they're on drugs. Would they have a crowbar and steal my bike so that they can get a fix? Yes, probably. So you used to be able to leave your bike in that area. If you up till COVID times, like 2020, that was a very safe place to leave your bike. Now 100% not. I know I lost, can't remember when it was. I think it must have been like 2022 or something. I had a bike on the high street, and I went somewhere for 2 nights, and I came back and the bike was gone. So I do know that there is a lot of bike thefts, and even by the station they had a place where you could leave your bikes, and those bike things got taken away. And I'm guessing that the reason why they took that away is because they know that there's a lot of bike thefts in Birmingham. If you think it's not safe to walk around holding your phone out, well, the same is with the bike. It's not safe to park your bike inside Birmingham Centre. You might be able to do it for like a couple of 10 minutes. You might be able to leave your bike. I'm just eating a pack of crisps and I've got salt all over my mouth now. But yeah, you might be able to leave like a bike for 20 minutes on the high street, but you shouldn't leave it for more than an hour, because it would probably, I don't know. But there are robberies in broad daylight, so if someone comes with a bar to start hacking at a bike lock, you know. I don't think anyone would even say anything. That's the thing. Yeah, I think Tommy made a point that while all the sort of robbery and rapes were going on, not one Muslim reported on any of them. They knew that these kids were being abused and perhaps drugged and gotten drunk and stuff, and yet not one Muslim reported anything. That really does say something really bad about the Muslim community. I don't necessarily believe that that happened to thousands of people. I don't know. I do not know. I think it's an exaggeration, but why is no Muslim coming out and saying, actually, yeah, we did know and we did report it? No one's saying that. No one's really coming forward and saying, oh, we generally didn't know. No one's saying anything. I'm not hearing anything from their side. Their side's just staying silent. So I don't know, but England's definitely falling apart because of that. I'm getting worried because of it, but I'm also feeling like there's a lot of people in England that I really hate. Seeing that there's loads of people that would argue with their neighbour over having the English flag up. If the Muslims come and attack them, they're going to know that they were making the wrong decision to side with the Muslims and to see them as being okay. But if that's what it takes, the only way you're going to know that there's something wrong with Muslims is a Muslim punches you in your face. If that's what it takes to get you to realise that there's something wrong with Muslims, then it's going to end up happening. And I just think it is a shame because it's kind of how it is. But there is something wrong with the Islamic religion, belief. They worship a God that's absolutely nothing like me. I know there is some truth in it though, because I do support jihad and I do support my laws, but yeah, I'm not the laws of the Quran. I don't have any ties to that book. That book means nothing to me. That Muhammad means next to nothing to me. It's just a common name that's all over the place. But yeah.